Well, then let me share my screen here and we'll get to my very fancy slides that I made especially for today. So I guess first off, welcome to 19 Office Hours. So we kind of talked about this while people were filing in, but we were blown away by the response for 19 hours for something that we kind of put together in such a short time and didn't have a whole lot of time to kind of put out and spread out into the ether. It was really amazing how many people showed up and were present and kind of joined us for a week. We want to kind of continue that. And so what we've kind of developed is 19 Office Hours, which is going to be a working group where hopefully we'll kind of cover some stuff that will help move the needle on your business. Because we learned, all these great, amazing things over the course of, 19 hours. And now what? It's the now what point. And really what this is designed to do is kind of help maybe move the needle and help you get going and kind of provide you with some thought and some direction that you can kind of go off and make your own. And then also have some resources like Mimi, like Dixie next week and Nicole Heimer the week after that to kind of help out and provide insight and provide some guidance. So why are we doing digital services? Well, cause stuff is kind of crazy right now. Social distancing is kind of a current reality and it kind of happened fast and no one's really sure when it's going to end. There's a lot of talk about when and if and how, but it's very ambiguous and very kind of ethereal. So in times like this, it's really important to adapt and to start building up processes and revenue streams that will kind of not only help you weather the storm, but to hopefully thrive in the storm. I know it's a really scary time right now for a lot of industries, ours included, but I really believe that digital services and the opportunity that we as designers have right now can kind of move us past survival and actually into thriving into a really a very profitable and a very kind of lucrative business stream. So basically we're going to need to do these revenue streams. It helps you build short-term cash flow. It builds a new funnel of clients and helps you diversify your service offering. But I think the really key thing is to kind of think outside the box and to think digital. And the most important thing is you all have knowledge and talent. And knowledge and talent that's valuable. And you might not think it, or you might not think it's worth that much, but it really is. And there are ways that you can monetize that, and there are ways that you can make a really good source of income off of. So just to kind of give you a big picture, I know we've talked about this a bit, but what the next 4 weeks will look like. So this whole month-long kind of shindig is all about getting you primed to do and sell digital services. So this week we're going to kind of look at some options as well as hear from Mimi and what she's doing and what's working for her. Next week we're going to start talking about technologies and tools with Dixie, who's going to kind of talk about the ways and kind of the technology and tools that we need to kind of facilitate these digital services. And then week 3, we have the what we're going to do, we have the how we're going to do it, and now we need to kind of align our messaging and our branding to, put out into the world that's what we can do. So this is going to be with Nicole Heimer. We're going to look at websites. We're going to look at, how to develop that messaging and craft that messaging, which will be really good. And then week 4, the final week, we're going to say, okay, we know what, we know how, and we know how we're going to talk about it. And now we need to kind of put that message out there in a really thoughtful way so that, we can get those leads, we can start producing that revenue from these services. So I just want to give a shout out to our Facebook group, of course. So that's Mydoma Studio Designers. So it's facebook.com/group/Mydoma Studio Designers. And really, you can use this for your hub to kind of talk about what you're working on and get help. We have lots of people in there, asking questions and getting help on their stuff, even outside of what they're working on in Mydoma. And if you aren't a part of that group, we'd really love you to be a part of that group. So hit us up and ask to join the group and kind of share what you're working on over the course of the next 4 weeks there. So week one, digital services for designers. So there's a lot of options. You're not limited to what you can do. We have, oh, sorry. I guess I should introduce everyone. This is my introduction slide. So once again, my name is Jason Connell. I'm the director of marketing at MyDoma. We also have Sarah Daniele, who's the CEO. Of course, Mimi Goldsmith, interior decorator and stylist at Style by Mimi G. So we have some very smart, I'm going to include myself in here, some very smart, talented people on the call today. So please enter your questions and take advantage of that, because I think this is something pretty special. But kind of continuing what I was saying before, I forgot I put that slide in there. So you have options, like, honestly. There are a wide variety of things you can do, stuff like virtual consultations, virtual seminars, shoppable rooms, ebooks, and probably a few things that we haven't thought of or anyone hasn't thought of. I think this is an area that is ripe for innovation and ripe for out-of-the-box ideas and creative solutions, because this is a really tough problem that kind of needs that things. So, virtual consultations is pretty self-explanatory, whereas used to do consultations in person, now we can do them virtually. And, there's a lot of technology and there's a lot of tools in place that can help you facilitate that. Obviously all these things you can do on MyDoma, but there's also a lot of different other options that you can do to facilitate this. I think the most important thing is not to get hung up by what you do or don't have, because I think you'll find that in a lot of these instances, you can find something that works for your budget, for your skill set, for what you have available. My previous life, I was a filmmaker, and I worked with a lot of businesses who wanted to start producing video content for their company. And, there was always this misnomer that, oh, I need a $15,000 camera, or I need, $10,000 lights, or I don't know, $800 mic. And that's simply not true. I think you'll find a lot of what you have probably already can do the job. Cameras and cell phones have gotten really great. You can get a really decent mic. I know Dixie's going to show us some equipment next week, but you can go on Amazon and buy a really good mic for like $35. Like, there are options to kind of help to facilitate this stuff. And, even if it's just like I got right now, it's literally Apple headphones plugged into my laptop. Like, that works, right? If it allows you to do the job, it's good enough. And maybe once, you start building out the revenue streams and the cash flows coming in, you can start investing in these technologies. But I wouldn't let that limit to your imagination or limit your ability to do this stuff. So yeah, virtual consultations are pretty self-explanatory, but virtual seminars are, I think, another thing that people can do. You can teach a wide variety of topics, everything, like how to mix patterns with colors, or 101, insert topic here, whatever that might be, because you have knowledge and you have skills that are valuable and that people need. And I think there are ways that you can kind of turn that into something that's teachable, that someone can pay for and download, and you don't even have to worry about it. It's just kind of a passive revenue stream. The next thing is shoppable rooms. So people are spending a lot more time at home now, and I'm sure there's stuff that is starting to bother them in their space. They sit in their office all day and they don't like this painting or this piece of furniture, and it's just staring them at the face, and they want to do something about it. And with shoppable rooms, you can kind of build out, something simple, just like, hey, here's an office setup, or here's, a refresh on your home office, or something like that. With ebooks, it's kind of a similar vein. You can do something similar there as well. You can kind of teach some skill sets that people want. And we're going to look at some examples in just a minute here of packages people have put together. But there is so much you can do, and perhaps it seems a little daunting, but hopefully, after hearing from some peeps over the next few weeks, that will kind of help you nail down that direction and what you want to do. So shameless plug before we get to our our packages. If you, like I said, don't let technology or don't let tools limit on what you can do. You can be scrappy, and you can Frankenstein a lot of this stuff together. If you want kind of a one-stop shop that kind of takes care of quite a bit of the things that you need to get this going. MyDoma has a lot of that functionality and a lot of that ability. So if you go to mydomastudio.com/19offer, you can sign up for a demo where someone on the MyDoma team will kind of walk you through what it looks like and how it might kind of fit that need. Or you can sign up for a trial as well, a free 15-day trial to kind of test it out and see if that might be the option for you. But in terms of kind of what we've seen other people do, I'm just gonna exit out my full screen here. We've seen some pretty cool things. So we kind of gathered some of our favorites. Barclay and Stone has this package, and it's basically an online interior design package. So they do, your questionnaire, your digital consultation, they do a welcome guide and all these kind of really great things. And it's right there. You purchase it, and you can fill in information and they can sign that off. This one is one of my favorites. It's the Home Office Rescue. So basically this is by Inspired Home. And what they've built out here is basically just a small office refresh. So they'll have you, take photos of the space and kind of measure it up. And they'll give you a custom interior design delivered to you virtually. So like I mentioned before, right? Like people are sitting around at home a lot and they're probably nitpicking their spaces apart. So there are ways to kind of get in there and kind of offer them value digitally without having to be there in person. Next one we wanted to kind of take a look and I'll put all these links in the email so you can kind of go in and check them out yourself. Is Details has the declutter challenge. And so, another problem with being home a lot and seeing your spaces is you kind of notice all the clutter. And as I read this, I'm kind of looking around my own apartment and thinking that I might fall into this camp. But what Details has done is kind of built an ebook that people can download to kind of figure out how to declutter their life, as well as some other tools, like this task calendar, this tip booklet, makeup and food expiration chart, which is very helpful, I would imagine. And they've kind of built this package that, they sell. And what I love about this too, is they also have a level of difficulty. So they can, some people want just like a quick refresh. Some people want to burn it all down and start again. And this does a really good job of kind of illustrating who this is for. Now, the last one I kind of wanted to talk about is digital design session. So again, this is kind of another digital design, and it's a 60-minute kind of style consultation. And it kind of, what they've done a really good job of is really breaking down, what this is and how they're going to facilitate it. Because I think customers have a lot of questions, right? Like they're just as new to this as we are. And the more we can kind of reduce ambiguity and put them at ease in terms of how this is going to work and how we're going to facilitate this, the better. So like I said, I'm going to send these all just so you can kind of take a look, but I kind of wanted to get your thoughts brewing before we kind of started talking to Mimi. Because part of what we hope you'll do today is kind of with the follow-up email, which we'll provide with some more resources to kind of do a bit more of this discovery and exploration. Our hope is for you to kind of nail down what you want to start doing or what you want to improve, whether it's ebooks, whether it's room in a box, shoppable rooms, or digital consultations. We'd love for you to kind of get in your head this week, like what is the thing that I want to build out for the next 4 weeks, and what's the thing that we want to try and make a revenue stream. But I've done a lot of talking, so we'll get to our expert, Mimi, because I think she has done some really cool things and some really smart things and some things that kind of happened by accident, which I think sometimes is interesting byproduct, and I'd love to kind of share that. So maybe, Mimi, we'll just assume people haven't seen 19 hours, didn't really see your session. Maybe you can kind of walk us through, kind of business before the storm and now business now, and kind of what kind of things you're doing digitally to kind of help, weather the storm, so to speak.
Right. Okay. All right. So we're going to do like a mini version of the 19 hours, like just a little
Yes.
refresh?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I live in New York and I have full service, and I also have an e-design side to my business. It's kind of two different businesses. So my local business is the full service that most people do. And when I just started, I did not, I knew I wanted to pick a niche, as Nancy Ganzikoffer says we should do. But I didn't even know what my style was yet. And I had done a few projects and created blog posts. I don't know why is that my camera doing weird things? I have to like stay still like a robot.
Yeah, yeah, it seems to be auto-focusing for some reason,
I don't
but
know how to change that.
okay, we'll just bear with it.
Yeah. Um, so what was I saying? I didn't know what I wanted to do, needed a niche. Oh, I did a few projects already, and I had created blog posts for them and created pins on Pinterest. So you take the pin, I mean, most people know this, but I'm just going to give a little basic. Pin the image from your website to Pinterest. It comes up with the title of your blog post. And that's how I started. I created those 3 blog posts from the 3 first projects I did. And then I was trying to figure out what my niche was and looked back at my analytics on Pinterest and saw that the pins from the therapy office had a lot of traction. And I, like I said, didn't know what I wanted to make my niche. So I was like, okay, we'll lean into that. Let's see what happens. So I ended up creating graphics for that blog post, speaking directly to therapists. So it would say on the blog, on the pin, it would have, let's say I have one that has a before image and an after image. And in the center, it says, therapists, you can skip all the stress of designing your office. And then it brings them to, if they click. So many times they save it, which is nice because then it puts it out into the universe more. But really, you want them ending up at your website, right? Because that's the only way you're going to actually make some money. So, so I created an ebook for them to get for free, and I have iterated this so many different times. Like first it was free, first I charged for it, then I made it free, then I changed it so many times, and you could really mess around with stuff in the beginning because there's like very little audience to be noticing. So, so I ended up making the ebook. It's a guide and checklist for creating a tranquil office. So that ended up working, and I ended up with a lot of people signing up for the ebook. That's in my MailChimp, so they get an automated response. And I, after a long time, finally had set up my welcoming series. So the only thing that I see that's helping with is that your future emails are opened more because they opened most of those initial welcoming series emails. So besides for that, I had created a therapy office in a click. So it's like a bed and bag idea, room in a bag, whatever, room in a box, for a therapy office. And it has every single thing in there, down to the accessories, down to the inspiration stones. And I just picked up a few different extra items from that first therapist, that project that I did. That person is actually my friend, and I did that for free. And she obviously paid for the items, but I did the project without charging her. And so I had a whole bunch of different tips from her that I got some insight to therapists and what they have in their office, what they need in their office, and added that to my package. So, okay. Then there are two other packages that I created for the therapists. One of them is a semi-custom e-design, and the other one is full room e-design. I don't need to explain that one. That one's totally customized. That's the same kind that I would offer somebody who's not a therapist. But the semi-custom one I created because there would be less of an investment, so more probable that people would purchase it. So that one is like less than half the price of the other one because I have pre-selected items for all of the neutrals in the room and some of the like metallic decorative items. And then I have a list of all the items that they will customize with me. So I did that. And so I have those packages. And then after maybe like 6 months ago or a little more, I created a live video consultation. So originally it was very scrappy. See, you said I could be scrappy. I was very scrappy without permission, actually. So I would have the video consultation with the therapist, and it's only a half an hour, but they send me their measurements and pictures beforehand. So I sat for, let's say it takes me 10 minutes before. And okay, sorry, I have to go back because in the beginning, what I was saying is that when I would have that consultation, all I would do was create a sketch while we were talking and create the layout and a sketch and then take a picture of it. So professional and email it to them, and they were happy. But I would definitely like to be more professional. So as I learn new skills, or sometimes I had the skills, but just didn't think of the idea yet, I incorporated that. So what I did was I had my 3D software that I already used for when I would do local full service or the e-design. And I had already made a few therapy offices for my e-design or custom, like the semi-custom package. So I already had that in my software. So I thought about it and figured, why don't I just use that as a template? And I would pull all the furniture items out of the room. And 10 minutes before the meeting, I would switch over the measurements to match theirs. And as I spoke to them during our 30-minute consult, I would arrange it in the way that made sense and created the best flow, depending on a few factors. Mostly it was how many clients they have in the room at the same time. Is it children therapy, merit? Like, it depends, and those things make a difference in which types of seating you have, and layout just is always something that you have to consider with any type of therapy. Anyway, so I did that, and that was like the next level up, the next iteration, and that went really well. And then I figured out, why am I not creating the, like, setting up the items in my template to the measurements of the therapy office in a click, which is the bed in the bag package, right? So did I already say what the bed in the bag package was? Yes, I did.
A little bit, yeah.
I did. I think I said enough, because I was saying that it was from everything up to the, like, inspiration stones. So I was trying to figure out, how do I get them, they need enough information to know that these items will work in their room. So, and obviously I want to sell them something else, not just end it there. So I set everything to the measurements of the items that are in the therapy office in a click package. And in the beginning, as we're talking, I asked them if they're considering purchasing that package, because I will let them know as we go through our consultation, which items would work for their room and which wouldn't, if any wouldn't. So, and then towards the end, I say, I let them know which things would work, and let them know that I'm sending them a link after, they get a 2D and 3D image of the space that we did together through on that call. And with that, they would get a 30% off the therapy office in a click. And I think it has like a 2-day expiration. So that's it for that. What else?
Yeah, no, that's really cool. One thing that I really want to glean, because I think it's really smart, is you kind of had different levels based on how involved they wanted to be. In everything from the DIY with the ebook with, this is how you can do it, to, the half customization, which was, it's pretty templated out, but there's, some minor tweaks here and there, I assume. And then to the, no, like, we're actually going to go and do that. I think that's really interesting, because the smaller stuff, like, it's like, you've pre-built it out, so the time investment is so minimal, but that acts as a sort of really good source of income, but also warming a client up to you, right? Because sometimes, especially if they're just coming in off of Pinterest, right, they might not know you, they might not know who you are and what your skill set is, and that really allows them to learn that.
Exactly. It's like the initial month at $10 for your gym.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they want you to come in and get comfortable and then pay the full price for the monthly.
Yeah,
right?
once you're used to it and the workflow and the
Yeah, exactly.
that's
So that is that piece. And I think, do you want me to go over a little bit more of the Pinterest thing? Are there any questions?
Yeah, we have a few questions, so maybe we'll get to those, and then if we can, Mimi, I'd love to if you could kind of show us some of this stuff. If it's not going to be anything proprietary or anything you don't want out in the ether, but let's get through these questions first. So Stacy is asked, how often do you check to see if items are no longer available?
Okay, so I don't check that often. What happens is somebody will let me know that something is not available. I do check but not maybe like every 6 months. But in between that, if somebody says, they'll send me an email. And it's usually not out of. It could be out of stock, but it's like 6 weeks out, or so they won't send me a message for that. But if it's completely discontinued, I've only had that a couple of times for some reason. Oh, because usually if it's discontinued and then I go back in to fix that, then I'll look through everything and make sure that all of the links are working and all of the things are still in stock and swap it out. So not a lot of time, but yes, it's not set it up and you're done forever, but it's minimal. It's definitely
Just a bit of upkeep.
A bit of upkeep, exactly.
Yeah, cool. So we have a few questions about the 3D software. So a lot of people are interested in what 3D software you use.
Okay, so I started with Floor Planner, which is very user-friendly. But I just a couple months ago joined the eDesign tribe. Their Facebook, they have a software, and I started using that one, and it's very photorealistic. It's incredible. Like, I feel like I need to raise my prices because it's just so beautiful. It's like the same thing, but even prettier. Like the same room, but it just comes out so much more beautiful. So that one is extremely intuitive and even easier than Floor Planner. When I just started out, I tried a whole bunch of the free floor plan softwares, and Floor Planner was the most user-friendly, easy to learn software. But this one is even better because one thing that is like the biggest difference is that when it switches into 3D, you can actually manipulate the art and move it like in 3D. And in my other floor plan, that was like so frustrating because you'd have to go back to 2D, like zoom in to get to that teeny little frame on the big wall.
Sure.
And have to make your adjustments and then go back to the 3D. Is it good? Does it look right? Is it big enough? Is it at the right height? And back and forth and back and forth. No more of that. This is so fast. It's amazing.
Perfect. And you said that was eDesign Tribe?
eDesign Tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a eDesign University, which teaches Photoshop and a whole bunch of different courses. And then they have the, what do they call it? I guess eDesign software. I don't remember. It has some name. So yeah.
Perfect. Next question, which I think is a really interesting one, is how long did this entire process take? Was it months? Was it years? You know, what did that workflow look like?
Okay, so all through these years, I have kind of messed with these packages and my Pinterest and, you know, trying new things in between my full service. Like, you know, there's ups and downs, there's lulls. So then I would spend a little more time on it. I have never like fully been invested in this. Now I'm going to have to be because we are so much more stuck at home and limited, very limited. So I know I have not done this, but I do know from other places, but also this is one of the main things that they teach in the eDesign Tribe is to get tailwind, to get your Pinterest pins. It sends them out automatically and repins. So I don't have to spend the time doing that. But up until now, I've been doing almost every day, 5 minutes on Pinterest. And what I do is pin 3 of my images, the ones with the graphics on it, like it says it has some type of copy over the pictures. I do 3 of my images, and then I do 8 of other people's pins because Pinterest likes that, you know, the whole community, like, no, you can't just only post your own stuff because then we don't like you. So you have to be like a game player in Pinterest. So that is what I do, and it works. And I have a lot of traffic to my website. It does take time to grow. It does take, I would say that it will take a couple months till you see like enough. I guess if you are even better than I was with the pinning, it's probably quicker. But it did take me a couple months to have a lot of traffic. And then it just builds and builds because as the pins get repinned and repinned by other people, your results are higher up on in Google, because Google actually uses Pinterest images mostly for their results, unless you have a ton of traffic and you're a super busy popular website. The Pinterest is the way to go. Pinterest is the way to be seen and grow your following and your traffic. So let's say I like I said, I did like 5 minutes almost every day. And how long did it take me? It took me probably a day to set up the therapy office in a click, like maybe it took me 2 days, but it was like probably 8 hours of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that part was not so hard. And my Doma is very user-friendly. So it was easy to just grab the images. They have a product clipper, so it just pulls the image and the link, but you need to replace that link with your affiliate link, so that when they purchase, you get money, you make money off of that too.
Yeah, we had a few questions about whether you were doing affiliate links and how you were setting them up.
Yes, so it's all affiliate links, and actually for this package, it's mostly Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I have found, just in general, like on my website, because I created blog posts for therapists too, separate from this, but it all directs you back to the free ebook to get them on my email list, and my therapy office e-design services. And I have a tab on my menu, like where, home, services, about, whatever, all the different tabs they have at the
For
top.
sure.
So one of them is therapy office e-design. And then that holds all of the Mydoma therapy office packages, and it all you need to do is, like, you go to Mydoma and in your account and pick, I'm trying to remember exactly how to do this.
No worries.
You go and you pick the category that you want the code for, to plug it into your the back end of your website. And so I just plugged that code, copied and pasted it into the back end of that therapy office e-design page, and then all of the services show up in one page, and I don't have to, like, do it separately, each one. It's all together. What else?
Yeah. So we have an interesting question here from Carrie. She's asking if you customize based on location, for example, rustic or wood in Montana versus palm trees or pastels in Florida, or do you keep it pretty standard?
Okay, so the therapy office in a click is one style, made. I don't touch it. If they want it, they get it. I actually don't even have a like a mood board that I probably should, but I was thinking, if I put a mood board out, are they going to be Google imaging every single item, like reverse imaging everything, and then not buying it? So I have to think about how I want to do that. So right now it has the images of the therapy office from the blog and from all those Pinterest images as the inspiration image for the room that I used for the room. So they know that it's going to be that style, right? It's not the exact items, but it's that style and that color palette. So that's how I did that one. But then the semi-custom one, that one, it has some set, so it's not as flexible, but I can customize it as much as I can towards their style. And I do offer, like, additional changes for like, I don't remember, but when I did it last time, it was like $65 for a switch, like for a replacement. So I already have all the information I need. And so I kind of just, like, throw two options up for them, and that's all they get. So sometimes there are items in there that I didn't put in because I didn't create an office that for people who are doing children therapy. So I've had to add, a chair and a desk and a toy cabinet. So those are, a little bit of extra money. And I don't know, I'm always changing my prices. So it depends on how busy I am, like, because that's not, I don't think I wrote the price of an addition or a swap for a revision. So sometimes it depends on how busy I am, and, like, Do I want to just make it a little bit more palatable? And yes, of course I'll pay that. That's like a no-brainer. Or do I not really want to do it, and because I'm too busy, and then it's a little more expensive. So
For sure.
that's kind of how I do that part. Did I answer that?
Perfect. I think so, yeah. We have another question about whether you post on Instagram. And I'd like to know kind of your thoughts on that as well. If it, for this particular item or just in general.
Yeah, so that is one of those complicated things that I have. Yeah, because I kind of have two different two different sides of my business. So I'm a little bit schizo sometimes and don't know. Yeah, I'm always like trying to figure out, I don't want to push it out there because it is definitely a more budget friendly offer. And you don't have to do that. You can create a more upscale level package, which I plan on doing. I actually have an idea of what I'm going to do, which I'll share with you, because the more ideas I throw at you, the more you'll have. And then hopefully you can say what you're doing and it might make me think of something new. Who knows?
For sure.
So I very seldomly will post about my lower priced packages on Instagram. And my Instagram, I really do use it. And my Facebook, well, I hardly use my Facebook. It all just kind of just rolls over automatically, and I don't push and I don't promote anything. So you know how it is now. Hardly anybody sees it. But Instagram is still good. And I hardly promote any of my therapy office stuff. Once in a long while, I will put it in my stories, like new free ebook or like something interesting that I had created. But I don't really. I do promote my full service and my video consultations, which I love doing, and there is amazing value. I feel like it should be more expensive, but yeah, I need work. So
Fair,
we'll just
fair.
stick with this for right now. And then, when things get busier and everybody's making money again, I might bump it up, because it's a lot of value for, even though it's only a half an hour, it's a 30-minute call with 10 minutes before and 5-10 minutes after. So it's almost an hour. And I actually don't remember what I charge. I think it was set at $250, but I'm not sure. I think I had it at $150 for a while. So anyway, so I do promote that because I love it. It's fun. I do have to get dressed. So that's one thing to think about. It's not like the therapy office on a click where it just happens while I'm sleeping. But it's quick and there's no homework. And that's one of my favorite services besides for full service. And then, the other services I promote more through Pinterest and my email list and my website, actually, because my website, most of the traffic is from the therapists. So I feel like the people on Instagram don't go to your website that much. And really, there's not such a need, because my Instagram and most people's Instagram is like a portfolio. So I do not really, the answer to the question is that I do not really push these through my Instagram. But if you don't do a lot of full service and you are going to be mostly doing virtual design, then definitely I would. And also, if your packages are high level, like if the products are, not budget friendly, let's say, then yeah, why not promote that on your main page? So, okay. Remind me afterwards. You want to do questions, or should I say what my idea was because I was trying to think of an idea for everyone else that's not going to be doing therapy offices?
Yeah, you know what? We have a few more questions, but we also have the live Q&A on Friday. So you know what? Let's get some more inspiration out, and I'd love to hear about that. And if we didn't answer your question, I'm sorry. There's a lot to keep up with, but we'll have another opportunity on Friday. Or Mimi's in the Facebook group as well, so you can feel free to ask her there, or post it. And I'm sure other people who use there's a lot of questions around eDesign Tribe. I'm sure there's a bunch of other users in there as well that might be able to answer those questions. But yeah, let's hear, lay it on us.
Okay, so I was trying to think of how everyone else, and now that I thought of the idea, I'm going to do it for myself, how everyone else could incorporate this therapy office and a click in their business. So I had created it was actually not with a floor planner, it was with Photoshop, a bedroom, like a master bedroom. And I don't know who to speak to, like who the pins should be calling out to. I wrote on like the title on this, on that Photoshop image, I wrote organic glam master bedroom. I don't know. I could go with that. And I had already created every image that I took and created that master bedroom with was from one of the affiliate programs that I use, which I think it was Share a Sale. So they were more expensive. These items were definitely higher end. And I created, like, I didn't know what I was going to do with this. So I just put it in a Word document and put like the whatever vase, and it has the affiliate link, and then bedding and it has the affiliate link, right? So
nice.
But I didn't do anything with it other than post it and get a lot of nice feedback and a lot of designers saying, oh my gosh, how did you do that? How much do you charge your clients for that? And that one, I was thinking to create a package in my Doma, exactly how I did the therapy office, and the affiliate links. I already have everything. So it just makes sense to do that. So what I would do is create that package. It has all the affiliate links in it. It's at a set price. Then I would have create pins speaking to that client that I have to figure out. You guys can help me. Go look at that picture and tell me who am I talking to there? That's the hardest thing, to like really understand your style. It's like seeing which one of your kids looks like.
Oh, I think we just had you cut
Like
out
my
here for a
video
second.
stall.
Yeah, we just gotta.
Okay.
Usually it's like choosing one of your kids.
I froze.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that is what I would do. And then I would create pins with that image and with text on the image. And then I think I need a creative freebie. So that's a whole nother project. But it doesn't have to be so complicated, the freebie. So my ebook took a little bit longer. It probably took me a few hours, let's say, or 4 hours maybe to create, but definitely worth it. And so, I think the more value you're giving, the more emails you're going to get. But you could just do a tip sheet. You could, like Wendy from Details. I forgot the second part of her
Interiors, yeah.
Yeah. So you could do a tip sheet and get your emails that way. But so I was thinking of doing that and have that set package, and then do the same thing that I did with my therapy office and create, like when I'm doing a video call. So probably the people that come in from that pin are liking a certain style. They might not purchase that package because they're not even sure about it, or they're not sure exactly what you get, or they're not sure it's going to fit in their space. That sometimes people pay for this video consultation because it gives them that information. So I could create the package, create the video, create the template of the of that bedroom in my software, and then do the same thing when I'm having the video consultation, and maybe it's for master bedroom design, right? Then I'm going to ask them the same question in the beginning. Were you thinking about that? Like, did you like that master bedroom that's on the photo as like maybe it's on the inspiration for the master bedroom live video consult. I don't know, there's like a million things you could do. So then at the end, then you pitch it to them, or have a 2-day promotion that you send them the link and they have that. So that is something that I was thinking that might be a good idea. I always go back and forth. Is it better to do that, or is it better to put it in your blog, like create a blog so that there's more traffic going to it, and then you think that there's going to be more purchases? But I have found that's not correct, because most people do not purchase from your blog. They come for inspiration. They maybe go to look at it. And one of the problems is that it's the cookies, which is, I don't even know how to explain it, but it basically is tracking the people that have come from your blog post, from that affiliate link to their site, and it only holds for a certain amount of time. So if they don't purchase, I don't know what every affiliate program has a different time. So let's say if they don't purchase within 24 hours, and if they don't purchase that exact item, you don't get anything, right? So that's very limiting, very unlikely that it's going to happen, especially if it's higher priced items. So I have found that when people purchase the package, they have already invested. So they're more likely to purchase those items. Even if they don't purchase all of them, they are way more likely to purchase those items than if you had the same items in a blog post. So I do have 2 or 3 blog posts. I have 2 blog posts that have a whole bunch of items in there, and I do have traffic, and I do get affiliate commissions on that. Not a ton, and also they're mostly from Amazon, and Amazon has the best cookie, whatever it's called, out of all the affiliate programs that I've seen. I think you have 48 hours from when they come to your site, come to Amazon from your site. They do not have to purchase that exact item, and it's like within 48 hours. So I've got like, what do you call it? Diapers, people buying diapers, feel like baby food, whatever you can see on your in your Amazon analytics. Oh, here's one more thing real quick. I don't know if somebody else can use this for something, but I thought of a new idea that I'm going to do. I have to figure out how to create an Amazon store, because what I figured out was I'm like a stalker, and I know the inside of these people's therapists, aka therapists. I know what they're shopping for because of the history in my analytics on my Amazon. So I'm going to create a store that has the items that I had already put in my blog, plus all those interesting items that they purchased, not the diapers. That's not what I mean. But they have purchased many like office things that I didn't put into my package, and they have purchased their, like, just like last week. It was so cute. I'm like, I want that, but it has a before and after. It has a mug, and it has a whiskey glass, and it says before clients and then after clients. And that is the cutest thing. I'm definitely adding that into my Amazon store, which I will do probably the next time I'm bored.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. One thing that I really like about what you've done, Mimi, is that like I think so many times we don't know what we don't know. And as much as we can assume, we kind of just have to experiment and let, the data or, feedback from customers or potential customers kind of help us guide that decision. And that is something that I've seen like plotted across what you've been doing. And I think that's really, really valuable to impart is that, yeah, just try stuff and look at your analytics and look at, all this data that's coming in to kind of help you guide those decisions. Like I assume you didn't ever think you'd be, have this fixation on therapy offices, right? Like that was just something that kind of came and fell into your lap, right?
Totally just fell into my lap. And I enjoy it, but I also enjoy other things. So that's why I have like 2 businesses. So yeah, but it's great. And my Doma has been very helpful in making it easy. I mean, it's not easy. It takes time, but
it does, yeah.
easier because the infrastructure is there already. You just kind of have to plug everything in. And yeah, I do. And I appreciate the customer service is fantastic and very kind people.
Thank you.
So
Thank
I do
you.
like that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're coming up our time, so we're actually over time, but so maybe we should wrap up. But I want to thank you, Mimi. This was an awesome session, and I think it's helpful to hear from other people who are kind of in the trenches with you in something like this, and to hear what other people are working on to become inspired. And so, like I said at the start of today, we're going to send an email out with the recording of this presentation. We're also going to send out a bunch of resources that you can kind of check out to kind of help discover how you want to transition to digital services, what kind of pathways you want to take, and where you want to focus your time in the next few weeks. But yeah, I think our next get together will be this Friday at 2 p.m. Where we're going to have a live Q&A. So there's no presentation. It's purely an opportunity to talk to us and to Mimi, of course, and maybe get some of these questions that we can answer today, or more questions as you kind of dig into this over the week that arise. You kind of go into this not knowing what you don't know, and when you get ankle deep into it, then that's when all the questions start coming. Right. So we really want to schedule that session to make sure that you feel supported and you're not doing it alone, because like that session 19 hours, we kind of have to uplift others, right? And we have to support each other. We'll only be better by coming together and helping out this industry, because it's an industry that has a lot of really talented and really smart people, and it's an industry that deserves to survive. So anything that we can do on the MyDoma end, or just in general, we're happy to help. Reach out to us or join the Facebook group and kind of support each other.
Amazing. Thank you, Mimi. Yeah, my pleasure. Did you want to, I remember you saying something about having like kind of homework type to have people.
Yeah. So this week, what we're asking is people to kind of, review the recording if they want, but we'll also send out that email with kind of some reference material on kind of exploring all these different pathways. So the homework this week is to figure out, how you want to foray into digital services or improve the ones that you have, and where you want to spend your time over the next 4 weeks.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. We'll be checking in with you on Friday. So if you have any questions, as Jason mentioned, hop over to our Facebook group, because that's a great place to start the conversation as well. So, we always welcome any feedback that you have. If you have questions about how we can help you, what you're working on, you can start now. Otherwise, I guess we'll see you on Friday. Yeah. And we didn't get to everybody's questions. There's so many, so I'll hold on to them for Friday's session. And then if we can do some of that research, Jason, you and I, prior to Friday's session, and make sure we can come together, make sure we can answer those questions along.
Maybe on Friday I will have like prepared to share my screen and like
Sure.
the back end of the package and maybe some of like my most popular pins so they can see which ones are successful over others.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect.
Have
Thank
a
you.
great
Take
day.
care,
Have a
everybody.
great week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.